Alright, brush monkeys, we are back, and this week we're starting in on, I got a 2-pack of these little frog looking guys here. This is the deep one priest and the deep one acolyte, and I decided since they kind of look like frogs, I'm going to paint them like poison arrow frogs. So I've got this really kind of cool scheme. I'm going to put this guy aside. I'm going to put the acolyte aside for next week, and we'll do him next week. But for this week, we're doing the deep one priest, and I've got this really cool scheme planned out for me. For those of you that aren't familiar with poison arrow frogs, they're kind of they're really brightly, they're tiny little frogs. They're only like that big, okay, and they're really brightly neon colored and have black splotches on them, and their skin exudes the deadliest poison known to mankind. Like curare poison is made from poison arrow frogs, hence the name, and it is just really, really nasty stuff. And so these little frogs just kind of fascinate me, that something so tiny could be so deadly. And so I'm painting these guys like poison arrow frogs. So for this guy, I've got this Scale 75 Fantasy Games Surfer Orc Flesh, which is a really kind of bright turquoise color. I think is going to look really fantastic, and I'm going to dry brush him with some Hellion Green. Yeah, Hellion Green here. And then his belly is going to be a Shabti bone with a probably Tyrant Skull dry brush. And then I've got Reaper Pure Black and Vallejo Black Gray for the splotches on them and the highlights. I'm just going to freehand those splotches on his back and the highlights thereof. And then for this little apron he's got on here, I'm going to do that in Army Painter Gemstone. It's metallic red. I think that's going to look really spectacular. This little Cthulhu thing on the end of his staff is going to be metallic green. Both of those will get a light dry brush. Well, I take that back. The headdress he's wearing here is going to be Balthazar gold with old gold layered over it. And all that metallic stuff is going to get a light dry brush of Golden Griffin just to bring out the edges and give it a little shine. His eyes are going to be Averland Sunset with black pupils. And then I've got the Wraithbone out to do his staff in Wildwood and the wrap around his staff in Snakebite Leather. And then his base here, the rock he's standing on is going to be Basilicanum Gray. And the grass, the kind of grass, the texture paste around it is going to be it's going to be done similar to the dragon we finished last week. It'll be Plague Bearer Flesh contrast with a wash of Athonian Camo Shade, and then the base band will be Vallejo Dark Green. So I think this guy's going to look really spectacular. I'm going to go ahead and pause here and get started on the skin, and we'll come back when I get the skin done, and then I'll show you some of the reference pics that I have for the black splotches on them, and then we'll do those. Okay, so we pause here and I'll get started. All right, see you soon. All right, I'm back and I've made some progress on our guy here. As you can see, he's pretty bright neon green, which is what I was looking for. I haven't done the black splotches on him yet. I want to go, my tablet's plugged in right now and it's got my reference pictures on it, so I need to go get my reference pictures. But I've got the skin all painted and dry brushed, and I broke out the Nightmare Black for the claws, and put some Seraphim Sepia on his teeth there, kind of bring them out. But yeah, he's looking pretty good so far. I really like him. Like I said, I'm going to go get my reference pictures and then do the black splotches on them. And then we will come back and start in on the metallics. But he's looking pretty good. I like him. All right, see you soon. Bye. Alright, it's update time as I've made some progress on our guy. As you can see, I got all these spiffy little black splotches done. And it's a very subtle effect, but I have highlighted them all with the black gray. It's a really, really, really dark gray, like even more than Corvus black. And I painted his eyes. And this is the effect I was going for. This is my reference shot. Now I realize that the eyes on the actual poison arrow frogs are solid black, but I wanted them more of a reptilian eye, well, more like a regular frog's eye, but poison arrow frog body coloring. And I think I've got that. I think I've got, he looks pretty damn good. Like almost the exact same green. Look at that bad boy. So I'm really chuffed with how this guy's coming out so far. I'm going to go ahead and take a pause here and let that finish drying, and then I'm going to start in on the metallics on him. Get all those golds and the metallic red on his little apron there and all that. So I'm pretty happy with how he's coming out so far. So see you soon. Bye. Alright, I've made some more progress on our guy here, so I wanted to update. I got all the metallics done on him. I decided to go, because he had this separate little section in the middle of his loincloth that was kind of scales, and then he had a different kind of scales for the rest of it. I decided to go ahead and do that one in the Evil Chrome from Army Painter Metallics. And then of course I did the rest of his skirt in the gemstone. His little staff topper here was done with the glitter green. His headdress and earrings and his bracelet there were all done with Balthazar gold and then layered with Vallejo old gold. Now he's got a bunch of little gemstones around the outside of his headdress. I'm going to go ahead and do those in the gemstone. Just pick them out in the red. And then, oh, and I put Carroburg Crimson wash over the scale loincloth and that. So you can tell it's a different color red, but it's still kind of reddish because of the shade wash all tied it in together. And that's what I was going for there. So I'm going to take a break and let those metallics finish drying, and like I said, I'm going to hit those little gemstones on his headdress there with the metallic red, and then when we come back we'll do his staff. I think it's about the only thing I got left to do, the staff and the base. I am really chuffed with how this guy's coming out. He looks really poison dart frogish. So I like him. See you soon. Bye. Alright, brush monkeys, I've done a little more work on our guy here. As you can see, I've dry brushed all the metallics with the Golden Griffin, and I touched up those little gems on his helmet too. So all his metallics are popping and he's looking really good. I love how it kind of ties all these in together, so you can see, even though I used gold on red, it still made all those little reds pop. It doesn't look like it's gold on red. And it looks really fantastic. Gold on the green looks good. It just looked great all the way around. And the other thing I did was I took a little bit of Biltan green shade wash and went over all the skin with it. And that's still a little wet in places, but you can see how it kind of tied it all in together. Now it's no longer that pale green with the like really pale green highlights. Now it's all kind of tied in together at the same green. I may go ahead and layer it again with the Surfer Orc green, just to bring him back up to kind of a turquoise color. But yeah, he's looking pretty good so far. So all I got left to do is the staff and the base, and this guy's going to be done. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here and let that dry, and then we'll come back and layer up the skin. Alright, see you soon. Bye. Alright, progress time. I've layered up the skin, so he's back to that kind of bright turquoise, but not quite as bright as he was because he's been shade washed. And he's looking pretty good. And I have, I based the wood and the leather on a staff and in wildwood, and I based the stone that he's standing on in gray cedar. And as you can see, I've already done the contrast paints of the wildwood on the wood parts of his staff and the snakebite leather on the leather parts. And overall, our boy is looking pretty good. He's looking close to being done. So the stone I'm going to do in Basilicum Gray. The base, like I said, is going to be Plague Bearer Flesh and then a wash of Athonian Camo Shade. And then that base band is going to be dark green. And then this guy will be pretty well done. So I'm probably going to go ahead and do the contrast parts of the base and do one more update. And then next time you see the guy after that, he'll be completely done. So he's looking pretty spiff. Now our next guy next week is this Acolyte, and he doesn't have any kind of armor or clothing or anything on him, so he's going to be a really quick paint. I'm going to be painting him blue with the black splotches, same kind of black splotches as this guy, but he's going to be kind of very light blue, and I think he's going to look pretty spectacular too. I think those yellow eyes are going to look really interesting on this guy, but that's next week. This week we got this guy still, and this week we're going to, like I said, I'm going to do the contrast parts of the base, and I'll do one more update, and then we'll finish him up. So he's getting pretty close to being done. I'm pretty happy with how he's turning out, too. I think it looks really, really good. Alright, see you soon. Bye. Alright, I got the contrast paints down on the base, and you can kind of see where I'm going with this. And you can see why I'm using the Athonian Camo Shade on the base too, because the Plague Bearer Flesh is nice, but it's a really bright kind of olive green, and that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for kind of a darker, kind of swampy look to it. Both these contrast paints are still wet, so I'm going to give them a little while longer to dry, and then before I put the Athonian Camo Shade over there. And since the Camo Shade is kind of a greenish brown color, it's kind of really dark greenish. Well, it's good for camouflage, duh. I'm probably gonna do it over the whole base, so I'll get the rock and the green parts with the camo shade, and that'll give the rock kind of a mossy, moldy look to it too. And I may do a couple of swamp tufts on this guy. I don't know, maybe just a couple in the back and one in the front. But yeah, he's coming along really nicely. I'm really loving how he's looking. This guy is just really spiff. His belly's a little bit brighter than I'd like. Maybe I'll do some skeleton horde over the belly. But or some seraphim sepia. I got seraphim sepia here, don't I? Yeah. Just do a light wash of seraphim over the belly and tone that down a little bit. Yeah, so next time you see this guy, he's going to be completely done. So, thanks for watching, and tune in a bit. See you soon. Bye. Alright, brush monkeys, there he is. Our finished Deep One Priest. I think it came out pretty nice. I'm really impressed with how all those metallics worked out on him. And I really like the poison dart frog color scheme on him. So I'm really liking how he turned out. I hope you do too. Next week we'll be painting his Acolyte, and we'll be painting him in kind of a similar color scheme. He doesn't have as many metallics on him, or any, but he's going to be a blue poison dart frog. So he'll be blue with the black splotches on him. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. Hey Brush Monkeys, Tom from Flying Monkey Studios here. If you like what you see, click like down below. If you want to be notified when new videos come out, click subscribe. And in the meantime, if you want to see how to add one of the miniatures that we've painted on this channel to your own collection, check out our Instagram, Tumblr, and Patreon sites. If you want to support us in doing what we do, check out my Patreon site. Check out my merch store at storefrontier.com/flymonkeystudios. You can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, all kinds of stuff there. Go check that out. And in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.